Yes, people. Yes, people. It's G Talks Arsenal, your host here on Football Takeover. We're here to obviously, give our insight, our opinion, our reaction to what was an interesting game, to let's say the least. I'll keep it quite civil early on. Obviously, I'm joined by three amazing guests. So, my brother from another mother and partner on this Football Takeover journey, which is Ali. How you doing, Ali?
Yeah, I'm all good, G. It's good to be back on with the boys. Get back to normality in terms of how we do things here on Football Takeover, inviting the guests on and having a good chat about Arsenal Football Club. 7 points clear.
Nice.
Interesting.
Interesting one. I'm sure tonight will be an interesting discussion, interesting debate.
Oh God.
Next up, we've got Neil. How you doing, Neil?
Yeah, good, my man. How are you? How are we all? Hope everyone's well. Hope they're all having a good weekend, apart from the possible inside of the insufferable game we have to watch. Other than that, I hope everyone's well.
All
Excellent,
good, brother.
excellent. Good to have you, Neil. And obviously, last but not least, we have my brother here, Anthony. Anthony, good that you can join us. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
I feel like that's. I feel like there's more to come. I feel like that was quite a tame entrance, but I know there's more to come as we move through the show. So yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
There's more to come later, but yeah, yeah.
Pace yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to big up everybody who's watching at the moment. Big up everybody in the comments. I will be bringing them up throughout the show. If for whatever reason you're watching tonight's show for the first time, or for some strange reason you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that. So please do click like on the video, and please do subscribe, and tell your peeps, your family, your fellow Arsenal fans, and any football fans about what we're doing here. So we want as many people following us on this journey that we are on. So, I mean, first of all, there's quite a few slides where we're going to kind of deep dive into the actual game itself. But kind of first and foremost, I want to really just go across the panel and just get a vibe of how you were as the game was being played, the final whistle, and how you're feeling now. So there's three things I'm asking for each of you. So I want your feeling of, as the game was being played out, what was your opinion? How did you see it? The feeling and reaction of at the final whistle, and then obviously now having slept on it, I had some time to reflect. What is your feeling? So I'm gonna start with Ali first. During the game, final whistle, and how you're feeling now.
During the game, it's been a very similar performance away from home from the Sunderland game onwards. Nothing's really changed from that side of things in terms of very static, very ponderous at times, look good in patches. I think frustration is the word that I'd use during the game, and disappointment at the final whistle. But in the middle of all of that, I still believe we created 3-4 good chances to win that game clearly. When I say clearly, 2-0. I think Martinelli should have done a lot better than he did. How the hell has that ball hit the heel of his foot and gone wide? I still can't understand that. Every time I see that, my blood boils. And it's a basic finish. You would expect an under 13 to do better.
Right.
So that Mikel Moreno in that position normally finishes his dinner. For some reason, the header went off target. I don't know if he got put off by the keeper coming out, but normally he comes on and finishes that for us. He's done it against Newcastle at St. James's, and he's done it a few times over his tenure at Arsenal. But overall, disappointed, but I'm sure we'll get into it in more detail with the stats and the facts. But yeah, 7 points clear. It should have been 9.
I get that, and thank you for obviously your thoughts on that. I'll come to you, Anthony. Obviously, I could kind of tell you weren't too best pleased during the game. So yeah, give me your thoughts on how you saw the game, what you were feeling in terms of the performance, reactions at the final whistle, and then having slept on it. In hindsight and reflection, how you're feeling now about the result and where we sit.
Same typical performance in it. Certain individuals go missing and go hiding in games, innit? certain individual who I always say he doesn't serve any purpose at this football club at all. You could see when Madueke is playing, Odegaard went missing. You know, he's supposed to be our captain, you know, the one who takes the game by the scruff of the neck. Yeah, that's what I've got to say about that. In terms of that, there was no urgency from the guys. There's no urgency. You know, I know they've been playing games, you know, 3 or 4 days, but the lack of urgency, you know, from the team, you know, even to have a shot in the first half speaks volumes. Speaks volumes about mentality. You know, I always keep saying it that this team doesn't have the mentality to win. We make it harder for ourselves. City have opened up their floodgates to say, you know, I can't take the title. And what did we do? Martinelli, again, people know my feelings about Martinelli. Like, brother, I hope in summer you can pack your bags and get out from the football club because, bro, even my 12-year-old plays football. My 12-year-old could have put that in, blood. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? Like, my 12-year-old plays football, and to see you do that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I've slept on it and I'm still pissed off because look at today's result. Everton beat Aston Villa 1-0, and you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it just speaks volumes, and I keep saying this, and I said it in the Discord yesterday. This is similar to what we had against Liverpool last season. Every time Liverpool dropped points, when there's pressure on us for us to capitalise, we don't. We make it harder for ourselves. Yes, we're 7 points clear. But if we don't buck up our ideas, because who we got over the weekend after their Inter game? Inter's going to be a tough game.
Man United.
Exactly. Inter's going to be a tough game.
At
Don't
the
get
Emirates.
Yeah. They're on a new manager bounce, you know what I'm saying, going forward. So that's going to be a hard game. But, you know what I'm saying, first is the Inter game that we got to deal with, which if it's at the San Siro, we lost to them. Yeah. And we lost to them last season, you know, Is this going to be a repeat of history again going forward? These guys really need to wake up and back up their ideas. Like, if you don't want to be champions, do what you need to do on the pitch. Certain players need to have a long, hard look in themselves in the mirror and fix up, because this is not good enough. It's not good enough. I'm pissed off because we should have been 9 points clear. 9 points clear.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying that we got one hand on the tie because City are going to continue to drop points. But if we can't capitalise on it going forward, it's just like, what we doing? But I'd digress a little later on going forward. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your honesty. Yeah, no, I appreciate your honesty. Obviously, you know, reaction to the game. I mean, I kind of sense it across the fan base, really, that I think a lot of us are kind of looking at a silver lining, obviously being, you know, 7 points clear. But I don't think there's any disguising that there was overall disappointment, you know, coming into the game. And even now, you know, there is disappointment about not taking advantage of, obviously, where we could have been rather than where we are. I'm going to bring you, Anthony. I'm going to bring you in. Not sorry, Anthony. Gary, I'm going to bring you in shortly. I'm just going to hear from Neil. So just sit tight backstage. I'm going to hear from Neil and I'm going to bring you in. The 3 questions that we're focusing on at the moment, Gary, is how did you feel during the performance? How did you feel straight after the final whistle? And having slept on this performance, how are you feeling now? So just ponder over that whilst we give Neil the platform, and then I'll bring you in straight after. Over to you, Neil.
Yeah. I think I agree with everything everyone said, to be honest. And I think, like you've said, G, I think everyone feels this way. We look at the Discord, we look at the WhatsApp groups, we look at everything. I think it's in the end of the day, it was for me during the game, it was just the lackluster performance, the low energy. Don't get me wrong, 4 games in 10 days, all of them away. I understand that takes its toll, but you know, I think it's the lackluster performance. Just Odegaard's just nowhere to be seen, and that's 2 games in a row now where Odegaard's been nowhere to be seen. Yeah, our man Eze gets dropped after not chasing one person back in 1 game. I just feel that, like everyone's saying, we need to start putting up performances. Performances will lead to victories and wins. Everyone will lose points. We will lose points this season, and it will continue like that to the end of the season. It's not going to be plain sailing. But we should have capitalized on, and I was angry. I was pissed off after the game, even more pissed off, because I'm sitting there saying we had it in our hands. Martinelli, we could have a schoolgirl put that in the back of the net. We really could. Gyökeres, I don't want to give him too much grief because he's going to get a lot of grief anyways, but he should have been better yesterday. That one-on-one situation, that's his bread and butter in the Portuguese league. I realize he's coming up against proper athletes in the Premier League who are as quick and as strong as him, but he should have done better. So for me, again, thinking about it now, the dust settled. I still feel the same. I still feel we need to let Eze. I put something in the Discord earlier, and the games that Eze played this season, we had victories in all of them and more attacking moments in all of them. And we all thought, oh, blimey, we've turned a corner here. But the minute Ødegaard comes back into the team, he reverts back to this U-shaped football, this recycled, football constant over and over again. Our even our defenders are passing the ball between each other slowly, waiting for it to happen. And even Deck was on that yesterday. It might just be fatigue, I think, for a lot of players, but we need to get back on it straight away.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm going to give my opinion, obviously off the back of listening to all of you. But right now I'm going to bring in Gary. So welcome, Gary. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the, obviously, Nottingham Forest Arsenal reaction. Good to have you. So I know you haven't heard from everybody, but you heard probably the back end of like what Neil was saying. So now I'd just like to kind of get your opinion on obviously how you were feeling as the game was being played out, feelings and thoughts at the final whistle, and then obviously having slept on it, how are you feeling right now, bro?
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, going into it, I knew our defense will travel. It's been that the last couple of years, so I could depend on that, and I think Arteta depends on that, so we're good. Attack, I think he was just trying to change it up, which he should have. He needed to change it up because we just needed to try something different because what we've been doing hasn't been working. So I was happy to see Martinelli and Noni get a chance maybe to run at a defense, maybe show something different and open up Gyökeres. But we still haven't figured it out. During the game, you just sit there and you watch. It's like it's still not clicking the way you want. I think that Martinelli mess basically is we need that opener. We need that opener. Gabriel came back. He gave us 2 openers, and that kind of helped us out. But we needed an opener, and that was, I think, that goal goes in. It changes because we change when we score. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. We didn't get that goal, and we couldn't find another chance like that again. That was probably the best chance we got all match. Meaning, that's supposed to go in. So that was disappointing. And then nobody's getting anything on us, so they're not running away from us even if they do score. So I can always depend on that. So that's how I felt the game was going to go, but we just couldn't find that opening. We don't get that many clear chances, and when we do, we need to finish, and we've been not finishing. I like to see Gyökeres get some of those chances, so we can at least complain about that. Right now, we don't get a chance to complain about him because he doesn't even get the chance, right? So that's how the game went for me. We had a few chances to open it up and change things, but it didn't happen. Right after the game, another points lost. Points lost again. We've got in the games that we've only dropped points in 8. We've only not won in 8 matches this season. In the league, we've dropped points in like 7 games, 5 points in those. And I think in any of those games, if we just opened up, we release the reins and let us try. Even if we won 3 of them, that's 4 points difference right there, right? Even if we took 4 L's instead of 7, 5 draws and 2 L's, that's the difference. We'll be at 11 points, and that looks different. It looks nicer. It looks more comfortable. So I think that's kind of how I felt right after the game. Another chance lost. So far, it looks like the football gods are on our side because even when we drop points, everybody else struggles, right? Everybody else is struggling. I think that's the way the league is right now. We knew City didn't have it. They didn't have it like they've had it in the past. Liverpool has shown already to struggle, and then it's they've had injuries that pretty much have knocked them out. Villa, we see that Villa had a chance today to break in, and they couldn't do it. They played the way they played against us in the first game, the way they played today. You're like, that's 2 different teams, right? But Everton's done it. Everton's done that to everybody. They've played this, they go down a man, they still win. So they found a way no matter what. So this league is not easy. And that's the other part. You look at this. This league is not easy. We're up 7 points in this league, and it's not easy for anybody to get a win. I mean, this is the second week in a row, I think, the top 4 haven't won. So, there's a lot of stuff going on that's making it tough. And this is I guess it's not going to be easy for us. At the end of this season, I think if you've been with the team the entire time, your heart will be palpitating the entire time. And Arteta is looking at this like a marathon. I hope that he's saving it up, because I'll tell you this. The last, 3 seasons, the first season we started strong, finished weak. Next season we started weak, finished strong. The next season he's had to deal with injuries. Now I think he's got the complete team. We've started not fast, but we haven't fallen off. Actually, we have the lead. If hopefully he releases the reins and he allows Eze, he allows Nweri, he allows Norgard, and when we get Calafiori back, because I think that is a missing player for us. That would make a difference. Once we get them back and we're able to finish this marathon with them rolling, hopefully that that will get us over the edge, and we'll hopefully put our arms up a couple of times this season, hopefully, because we've got the squad to do it. So there's a lot of that dreaming going on, but I think the defense travels, and that will keep us in every game, and that will allow us to get where we want to be. So yeah, there's a Arsenal. So Spurs, BX Gunner, what are you talking about? We're not Spursy. If this is Spursy, then yeah, we're in trouble. But this is not Spursy. I haven't seen this from Spurs, right? So I think, and you actually maybe say that word. I never say their name. I usually call them that team. So, but I think like I said, I think I am. Like I said, I think Arteta's got a marathon set up. I don't think we like it. I think we want sprints. We want to win this thing fast, and I don't think Arteta's hopefully he's learned from all the seasons of coming short and say, you know what, we're going to finish strong no matter what, and we're not going to let anybody run away from us. And that's kind of what's happened. Nobody's running away from us in these games, and if we get clicking, we'll be all right. Because the defense, I say it again, the defense travels. He's going to lead on his defense to keep us in games. Once we get our offense clicking, which once again, that's going to be our Achilles heel. If it is anything, we'll be all right. So that's kind of how I feel about the during, after, and now. I've had a chance to think about it. Like I said, I think some people said Leicester got lucky when Giroud couldn't hit. Right. So far, we seem to be getting lucky because nobody can hit. Right. Nobody's hitting, nobody's clicking, nobody's gone on that run. I think we're the last team to go on a significant run in this season. Everybody else is finding it difficult now. I think City I think if City gets Gahey first and not Semenyo, maybe they would put a little pressure on us. But they're gonna, we'll see. But those are my initial thoughts. Hopefully, we'll see where we go from here. But we should like it. We're 7-up. We're 7-up.
No problem. Thank you. I mean, just quickly, like my thoughts. I was really excited about the game. I didn't expect Man United to do City over at all. Didn't see that coming. Didn't predict it. I thought it was a brilliant performance from Man United. Having watched the highlights, I was really excited about the Forest Arsenal game. I predicted quite a comfortable win. I got to be honest. I was bored watching most of the game. If I'm completely honest, it was flat. It was slow, and it just wasn't very entertaining. I've been very public, very vocal about Arteta's style of football, our style of football. I am a little bit of a dinosaur. I'm 41. I grew up in the Wenger years. I like attractive football. I like a certain style of play, but I've kind of accepted the fact that isn't Arteta's style. And I've always said, while we get results, I'll take it. I kind of accept it. I come to terms with it. But then when you have games like yesterday, you don't get over the line, you don't win it. All of a sudden, I tend to then look at the actual performance and the style of play, and I'm just like, we played crap and we didn't even get the points we needed, to win the game. So I was bored for most of the game. There were very few moments where I was on the edge of my seat. Very few moments where I was excited by the way we were playing. We weren't really doing much. On the flip side, Daesh ball is dash ball. It's low block. It's really difficult to break down, you know. And I do get that. I do get that concept, which is why when you get the opportunity that Martinelli had, you bury it, because that changes the whole complexity of the match. You know, you go ahead early on, you know, with a chance like that, or whenever it was in the half, it changes the whole game. You know, they then don't have something to protect. They then have to either sit back even deeper because they don't want to concede the second, because they want to stay in the game, or they've got to come out a little, which then leaves them exposed. So when you are a team like Arsenal, who in my opinion play somewhat of a conservative game, I think Arteta was a conservative player, and I think he's a conservative manager. And there are pros to that in terms of the back four and the defensive unit we've built. But then the cons of that is that going forward, sometimes we look really, really poor. We do create chances, but when we create those chances, we've got to bury those chances. And that chance Martinelli missed, I don't want to spend too much time on it, because at the end of the day, you know, we've seen it all over X, we've seen it all over the Discord. We know what people's opinions are of Martinelli. Nevertheless, he's at the club, but there are no excuses. A professional player buries that. It's just that simple. And you can have moments where you miss sitters, but he misses a lot of sitters. He does. This is not the first time. This is not going to be the last time he's been in positions like this, and he doesn't put it away. And then all of a sudden, I remember watching the game, and when I saw that, I thought to myself, you know what? That, I didn't say it, but in my head, I was thinking that could potentially come back to bite us. We didn't go on to lose the game, obviously, but nevertheless, that was a big chance that I think completely changes. So I was a frustrated figure during the match. At the end of the game, I'll be honest, I just switched it off. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm not even going to go on X. I'm not even going to go in the Discord. I'm just going to do something else with my time, because I felt so frustrated. I felt so annoyed. I felt like we'd missed an opportunity. And I just thought to myself, I've got to kind of detach myself at this point from this result. So I wasn't angry. I was disappointed. And you know, like when you was a youth, yeah, you know, like when your parents said to you, I'm not even angry, I'm disappointed. It's worse, you know. It's worse. Because I remember, like, when I got my GCSE results, yeah, and I was predicted all of these, you know, I went back and did retakes, A-levels degree, became a teacher, whatever. But when I initially got my GCSE results, I didn't do as well as I should have done. And I remember my dad was, you know, Caribbean man, ex-military, like, you know, he didn't play. You know, when he was mad, you knew about it. Everyone knew about it. But I remember he opened my GCSE results. He just looked at me and he went, I'm disappointed. That burnt me so much, you know. I wanted him to rail up. I wanted him to run and get the belt. I wanted him to react. But it was almost like that's how I felt yesterday. I wasn't even angry. I wasn't even angry at the team. I wasn't angry at the manager. I was just let down. I felt let down. And in many ways, do you get me? That feeling of let down, that's tragic, you know. That's a tragic feeling. As a football fan, that's a tragic place to be, yeah. I just felt let down, bro. So I just went out, boss, and he's come up.
left the building.
I just went out, I had some food, I drank a bottle of wine, I just went bed. Do you get me? I just felt let down, man. Can
I ask a question, G? Can I ask you a question? Do you think, because we all saw what happened with Deck and what he said and out, you know, looking for the cameras or whatever. Yeah. Do you think the players are starting to feel like Deck let down?
I mean, it's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one because the thing is, you got manager with tactics, and then you got players. And when I look at the club and I look at it, I'm thinking to myself, like, and I'll be real, like, I was never a massive. When Arteta first came into the club, I didn't want him. He was a rookie manager. It's like someone going from a cashier to CEO of the same store. Like for me, it was a crazy appointment to begin with. But nevertheless, he's here. He's done well. He's built a squad, and all of this business about the Kroenkes, bruv, he's been backed. He's had money. Like, they've spent money. Do you get me? They brought in Berta. I think I've been happy with the appointments, the money they've spent. But what I'm not going to do, and this is not defending Arteta, I'm not gonna blame solely Arteta because them man
Yeah.
they need to fix up one time.
Facts.
Because
Well said.
at the end of the day, Arteta doesn't tell them guys to go out there and play
And miss.
snail football. He don't go out there and tell them to look like, you know, they'd been on the lash the night before or they didn't get enough
Think up.
sleep. Yeah, there's a certain, the players need to take a certain level of responsibility.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it's on the manager. Just like any business, if you don't get success, it's the top man, top woman that goes.
Yep.
But at the same time, these are pros. These are pro players. These are international players. And what I saw a lack of, and this is something that I've criticized Arsenal about seasons ago, is that desire. Like the desire to win, the desire to put this league to bed. I've said it previous season. And the one thing that I question about this Arsenal team is the mentality. And the reason why I question it is because we know we have quality players. We know we have a quality squad. We know the talent's there. We know what they're capable of. But the thing that really bugs me, and they can't really help it until they change it, is there are very few players in this squad that have actually won a title, if ever won a title.
Yeah.
And when I sit down here, sometimes I think to myself, do they have what it takes? Do they know how to navigate and win a league? I feel like this team, if they win a trophy, particularly the league, I think the floodgates will open. I think we'll dominate the league for the next 5 or 10 years. The issue is you got to get over the line.
But you see what
And
the thing
until
is?
we get over the line, I'll be honest, I'm anxious about this side.
Yep.
Until I see it, and until I see that trophy aloft, you know, until I see them armpits, I'm really not sure. I have to question the team's mentality. I can't question their talent. I can't question, you know, their ability, international players, quality squad. We've got the depth. But there's a big difference between having, you know, having the potential and then actually doing it, you know. And I compare this to years and years and years ago. I had this student, and this student, he was brilliant at history, amazing at history. But every single time he couldn't take a test environment. So this guy, if you put him in a classroom with the rest of the kids and you gave him a test paper, A star, A star, A. You put him in an exam environment when the pressure's on. You got external invigilators walking around the room. He crumbled. His mind went blank. And this is when I look at this Arsenal side. It's like we know what we are in terms of talent, capability, quality, international players. But there's a big difference between like having that quality and being able to get over the line. And until I see it, I'm going to have to question it.
And, you know, you took the words right out of my mouth, because I've even been saying this from even on the discourse. Like, I don't think this squad, the mentality of this squad is not there. If this manager won a trophy like the Carabao Cup or something previously, that mentality would have said, okay, boom, we've won a cup. We know how to get over the line. But because they haven't done it for about, how many years that this manager's been here, I look at the team and I'm thinking, you know, what are we going to do this year? Because I'm glad Deckers came out and said what he said, boy. Like, it was on 4K, you know, lip reading what he said. And it's like, the man gets frustrated because he's been then like working like a horse this season, running up and down like a headless chicken, trying to do what he's trying to do. And then you've got other individuals in this team who go missing, who do stupidness. And, you know, the frustration it may have to boil over. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Tony Adams was right. You got to strip certain individuals of a captaincy, because this brother ain't no leader on the pitch. I want a man who's going to fight for this club. I've always said, give me a man who can take the game by the scruff of his neck. Odegaard can't do that. You saw with no Saka there yesterday, he was missing. I was like, is this brother even on the pitch? That's how bad it is. Is this brother on the pitch? You're supposed to be our captain. You talk this great PR spin about, the manager's done this, that, and the other, but brother, what are you doing essentially in regards to, you know, being a leader on the pitch? Take the game by the scruff of the neck. You know that this game's important so that we can go 9 points clear. You as a captain, step up. Show us, you know what I'm saying, that you are this guy. Because right now, you're not it, bro. I know reason why Arteta didn't play Eze, you know, for the X amount of games going forward because of that mess up that he did at Aston Villa, because he doesn't do the defensive work. Allow it with that. It's like you're too controlling in terms of the defensive capabilities. Let Eze play his football. Let the man play his football, because like you said, when Eze was there, we were winning games. As soon as Odegaard comes back, it's the same recycle. Pass to Saka, pass back to defenders. Now and again, he pings ball out to the right, to the left if Trossard there. But other than that, it's the same stuff that he does. And I'm like, I just look at yesterday's game and I'm just like, do you guys have the winning mentality? You know, 7 points. Yeah.
But on that point you just said, when you've got a Declan Rice, a Zubamendi, you've got Gabriel, you've got Saliba,
Raya.
you've got Ben White, you've got Raya behind you. You didn't buy Eze to be a defensive midfielder. You bought him to bring flair to our midfield and to bring people like Gyökeres to life. Hopefully, to bring people like Saka to life, to bring even Martinelli to life. Look at that ball he put through to Martinelli against City. You know, you've brought him in to play those, and in those games, he did that for us.
Yeah,
but because of one mistake, you're benching him.
Yeah. Again, this manager's been controlling.
How many mistakes has Odegaard made in the last 2 games?
Yeah, you know,
but this is what we're saying.
I was gonna say, sorry,
his favourites. No, I was gonna say that. We all know that this manager's got his favourites. Yeah. It's common knowledge. If Saka never had a little niggle, Saka would have been starting instead of Madueke. Let's be honest. Like, I don't beat around the bush. I call it as I see it. This manager's got his favourites. Because of the Aston Villa game when Eze didn't chat back and they scored, you know, they equalised. He got dropped. You didn't see him playing. I'm just like, you're a better player than Odegaard. I'm sorry, but Odegaard don't fit. What I see Odegaard does for Norway, same thing what Granit Xhaka used to do for Switzerland. He used to play rubbish for Arsenal, but when it comes to Switzerland, he used to be prime Pirlo. Odegaard does the same thing with Haaland. When they both play Norway, he's pinging in balls to him left, right, and centre. But when it comes to Arsenal, it's a different thing. And this goes back, when we talk about mentality, do you guys have the, you know, capacity upstairs to go and say, forget what the manager's telling you, let's play our football? I don't think none of these players have. I don't think none of these players can say, you know what, let's play the way that we want to play. Take the handbrakes off, because this is what we're coming to at the end of the day. This manager is a coward in terms of how he plays football. He's a coward. Doesn't want to take the handbrake off. He's scared of losing. It's basically he's scared of losing. As long as we don't lose the game, he's fine. If we draw, yeah, he's happy. But when it comes to losing, he doesn't like losing.
Yeah. I was gonna say on that note.
Quickly,
he
1 second, Gary. 2 seconds, mate. So Neil's question, yeah, and what G was saying, Mikel Arteta, he won the FA Cup in his first season, so he knows how to win. He took us through the whole of all those rounds, because he came in November. He done the whole FA Cup run. So as a manager, he knows how to win already. He's won plenty as Pep's cone boy, as everyone calls him. Yeah. So he's seen how the decisions are being made by the boss. So he's done his apprenticeship. He's come to Arsenal. He won the FA Cup, right? He knows how to win.
Yeah,
he knows how to win this. 1 second. He knows how to win. The question was, does he know how to win? He's already done it. So the next step is this. Can he play attacking football? Yes, he can, because he's done it in 2023. We went on that run, 6-0, 5-0, 4-0, 3-1, 4-1, whatever. Then all of a sudden, he flips everything round to focus on his defense, which is the right thing to do. Cost us a little bit going forwards. This season, he's done it again. Instead of flipping and going in the middle and having a happy medium between defending and attacking, He's still very passive in his approach. We are a 45-minute team. We play for 45 minutes. We are passive for 45 minutes.
Because I think
And
his
we are
obsession
still in
is
the-
now. Because I
Exactly.
think his
So we are
obsession
still
is control.
but he's controlling it in the wrong spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once you
because he's-
assess your team, listen, he's overcomplicating it himself.
Let me jump in.
Odegaard, Eze, all these guys, right? Eze should be in this team. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? Neil put on the Discord. Anthony's done it earlier as well over the season. We kept 7-8 clean sheets in a row with Eze in the side. So I don't think he was doing that badly. So, and we went on a winning run, 7-8 games, whatever it was. End of August, October, beginning September into October, right? Before the Sunderland game. So that's all fine. That's all well and good. What we need from Mikel Arteta moving this on is he needs to pick the right 11 that the fans are seeing, that the ex-pros are seeing, and he actually needs to do it himself and go away from his favourites that we potentially know about, and maybe drop an Odegaard and give Eze 3-4 games to prove himself. Like for me, the Inter Milan game, I don't care. Lose 5-0, win 5-0. I want 10, 11 changes, mate. Old Trafford, the Emirates on the weekend is more important than Champions League right now. We are going to finish in the top 2. We're beating Kyria at the Emirates. I think we need 2-3 points to finish in the top 2. Whether we finish first or second, I don't care at this point. The Premier League is more important. Rest your players correctly. In-game management. 1 week decent, 4 weeks bad. 1 week decent, 2 weeks good. It's too inconsistent. His lineups. Bournemouth, you go with 3 speedsters, power players. You do the same yesterday. I put it in the Discord. Perfect. As long as they're technically sound. They were not. So if you're going to do that, you need Trossard or Saka to go with Gyökeres or Martinelli. Saka, Gyökeres, Trossard. You can't have Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Noni Madueke starting. It doesn't work. They're technically inept. Just like Anthony said, they're not holding the ball up. We're not getting up the pitch. Then we risk to get the ball back onto us, and then the midfield's under more pressure. So we need a mixture of technical ability and that power and pace to go into transitions. So he's gone from yesterday, 3 power pace players, and then within 5-10 minutes, we've gone the opposite way. And then we've gone to this sideways passing, Jesus, Saka, Trossard on the pitch. Where's the pace?
I was actually
so we've
surprised.
gone from one end of
let me jump
to
in.
the other.
Please
Let Gary have a go.
Before we move off to something else.
Yeah, Gary, we're going to hear from you. 1 second,
talk-
Gary. We're going to hear from you, and then we're going to move on to some of the match stats. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay. Yeah, because we talked about a lot of stuff, and one of the things that we talked about when we won the FA Cup. I think when we won the FA Cup, Arteta was taking risks and taking chances because guess what? He had nothing else to lose. He had nothing else to lose. The other part to that is I think he played to the strengths of his team. He put them in situations to succeed, and we did. Cup games are totally different, and that's what he did, I think, there, and that's how we got the FA Cup. Once he got settled down,
won, right?
Once he settled in, right? Once he settled in, he got the grasp of what we were doing, and then he hasn't taken those risks anymore. The only time we see those risks this season, at least in my eyes, is when we're behind, right? Look at the 2 games that we've been behind in. Right? 2 games that we've been behind in, he's actually taken a risk. That Newcastle game stands out in everybody's mind because we're like, that's the attack I want to see, right? But that's because we were behind, right? He brings Odegaard in. He's got Eze on the pitch. Gyökeres was having some fun. We come back in that game. For me, that same kind of mindset and the approach should be taken, especially when we're struggling to score. Defensively, we're sound. Offensively, we need a little jolt, right? So maybe that's when you bring on Eze if he's not going to start, you let him play along with Odegaard, and you see because we've seen it, so we know it can work. Newcastle has a strong midfield, right? We lose the midfield, we know we lose, but even in that game, we looked really good with taking off one of Zubimendi or Rice. Yeah. So for me, I felt like at some point in a game, it's a matter of trying to put more pressure on, and we always talk about it. We do these like for likes changes. They don't change anything. The same problems are there. We're still struggling to find our way through a defense, right? You put an extra attacker on, maybe things will work out in our favor. Because, like I said, I'd rather try and get the win than just hold on to the draw, which is what we've been doing. And in some of those cases, we're dropped. Like in the Villa game, we lost out because we didn't try to go and get that second goal. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like, you know what? He's not taking any risks. He's holding on to what he's got. It's one of those things where, you were poor once, now you're rich, and you want to hold on to it, but you don't want to take the risk to get even bigger. And we're not doing that because we need to take a risk to win multiple trophies this season, because we have a squad to do it. We're going to have to take risks in games, right? And I think he's fearful of maybe taking that L.
The thing is, you boys are right in what you're saying, but these players are not taking their chances.
Yeah. No, but I think it starts at the top. I think it starts from the top and trickles down.
We played well at Newcastle from the start. It was one of our best first halves of football of the season.
Yeah, but when it
comes to we didn't score. We didn't score until we were behind.
That was
made the change.
It was 0-0.
Remember, we
didn't go behind until half an hour in the game. Yeah. So the point is, maybe the players we have, we're overhyping them. And they're just not good enough. Martinelli shouldn't be here. Is Gyökeres the answer? We don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The
manager,
in that
Newcastle
G said,
game,
Eze was having fun. It was looking like the Eze we wanted to see, right?
Like G said, the manager is a problem. Of course he is, because of the way he plays. He's become very passive over the years. But we've already seen a template for the whole season of 22-23 when we've gone and attacked and got 89, 90 goals in a season. So he can play attacking football. That's up to him and his coaching staff to persuade him to go back down that lane. We've got a fantastic defense. It's quite easy to tweak and make us attack and get 2-3 goals a game. But we created 3 or 4 openings yesterday, and the XG is going to show that. And we've missed Mikel Moreno. That should be a goal. Declan Rice crosses the ball into the box. Martinelli misses. Saka, outstanding save. Fingertips from Sells. So it's not like we haven't created nothing. They have to take these chances because they're not difficult chances to score. We should have playing shit, playing average, playing passive football. We still should have won last night 2-0. That's the point.
My only issue is why wasn't Kai? I wouldn't want to put Jesus in this game because they were whipping the ball like if we had like Jesus can jump like 6 foot up in the air. Why didn't Havertz come on? Because Havertz would have been a problem to them yesterday. Havertz would have been a problem, like aerial ability. Yeah, you know that Mourinho can do that job in terms of that aerial ability. Yes, we know that. But you bring on Kai Havertz as well. That's another one that they're gonna have to like. Shit, we got a good couple of guys in here who have their aerial presence. Why didn't you bring on Kai Havertz, but you bring on Jesus? What is Jesus gonna do?
No facts. This is why. So that's a different question. That's his in-game management. So he lacks that, and we know that because he's been doing it for the whole season.
Yeah, but for 5 years straight, he's been doing this for the whole 5 years straight.
Exactly. Before he never had the squad, then he had injuries. Now he's got the squad, and he's still making the same mistakes. So if he wins and we get over the line and we're struggling, are we going to be spoiled and be like, you know what, we still don't want him? Because I don't mind him leaving at the end of the season if we can get Luis Enrique in. I don't mind Mikel Arteta leaving Arsenal Football Club. If we win the Premier League, he wins the Carabao Cup, we get to the final of the Champions League, then leave. Because this football, as a fan base, we're clearly not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with his passive approach. I like my favourite team when I watch rugby is the All Blacks. They're very fast and fluid. I've been watching Arsenal. I've been watching Arsenal from day one, since the age of 7, knowing obviously the George Graham days, but then we had the Wenger days, like G said earlier. So we've been brought up on that. It's not hard to get a mix of the two. So this is up to Mikel Arteta. Bobby said it, Brenny said it, G said it at the beginning of the season. This manager is either going to win us the league or the players are going to win it for him. At the moment, the last 2 weeks, they've both failed. Because if they take their chances in the first half against Liverpool, the 1 or 2 that they created, it may be a different story. And most certainly yesterday, if those players took those chances, then we're not talking about Mikel Arteta. We still will be talking about Arteta because he has his faults and they are major ones, long term. Short term, right now, 7 points clear, he might get it done. But if we lose next week, Man City beat Wolves, it's 4 points. And then it's really game on, right? So everyone's correct in their opinion, but we really, really need to focus on both elements. These players are not putting the ball in the net. You can't sulk if you're on the bench. When you come on, you got to be switched on. If you get one chance and it's in front of the goal and you're 1-on-1 with a keeper, you got to score. This is Arsenal Football Club. Look at Real Madrid. They're booing every time Vinicius Junior gets the ball yesterday.
Bring him to the
And we're just passive and we're just sitting there singing our players' names.
Right,
So
fellas,
the
we're going
players
to
have
keep
got
it
to take the
moving.
blame. Yeah, we'll keep it moving. But really, it's a blend of both. Mikel's got to take the blame. The players have got to take their chances. Finish your dinner. It's as simple as that. We played shit. We should have won 2-0. That's the reality. They had 0 shots on goal. Simple.
Right.
Take your chances. Goals change games. We don't score. It's love the draw. That's what's going to happen.
Right, let's move on. I mean, obviously, we could be here till Christmas 2026, talking about, obviously, opinions. I mean, it's pretty clear that we all kind of sit in a kind of different space in terms of, like, analysing the manager, analysing the players, etc., etc. And the reality is there's an element of truth in everything what everyone is saying. The performances are not amazing in terms of style of play. We are seeing some players maybe get more game time and others maybe not get as much game time. We can see that we defensively better because it's a conservative manager. Offensively, we're not quite clicking. We are dropping points, but we're not necessarily losing pace at the top. I mean, everything what's been said here between all of you, I'm quite a rational, kind of logical, unbiased person, and I can see an element of truth in every single opinion. So, and it's good that we can all sit up here on a panel and have our different opinions because, I mean, this is Arsenal Football Club, and the one thing we all have in common is that we love this club. But moving on, obviously, with a lot of the stats, I'm not going to focus too much on the Nottingham Forest team here, but obviously, and I'm going to breeze through some of these slides. Obviously, our starting 11 yesterday was Raya in goal. We had a back 4 of White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber, a midfield 3 of Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard, and then a front 3 of Madueke, Martinelli, and Gyökeres. I'll be honest, me personally, when I saw the lineup, I was pretty happy with the lineup. I didn't have any major concerns. Just quick 20 to 30 seconds thoughts on the lineup, Ali.
I think that's the lineup that we normally get. I would like Eze in this lineup, but he never does it. And I don't want Martinelli starting in the Premier League for the rest of the season.
Bingo.
He's not a Premier League. He's not a Premier League footballer. He's a cup player. I said this on the Discord last night. He got 1 goal this season in the Prem. He's got 8 goals in various other cup competitions. Keep him over there. If Leo's out of form, play Eze on the left.
No problem. Neil, thoughts on the lineup ahead of the game yesterday?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like that. Again, I agree with Ali. I would like to see Eze start. Again, Martinelli. I agree with you. I think he's a finisher, not a starter. If we're going in Arteta's words, but yeah, standard.
No problem. Anthony, lineup that Arteta put out for this Forest game.
Yeah. I want to start Gyökeres this game. I'll start Kai, bring him back into the fold now. Odegaard, again, I wouldn't have started this game. I'll have brought Eze, because we know what Eze can do. We saw against Spurs, single-handedly ripped them to shreds. Martinelli, yeah, but the manager was smart to hook him at halftime. So that's the only smart thing that manager did was hook Martinelli off halftime. That was the only smart thing he did in that game. But other than that, I would have started Kai. I think it's about time that Gyökeres. Yeah, we'll come back to that later. But yeah, that would be my only 2 players that I would have switched for the starting lineup.
Cool, thank you, Gary. Thoughts on the lineup before the match?
Yeah, back line, expected that. Front line, I was happy to see Saka sit and Madueke get a chance because I think he gives something a little bit different on that right hand side. Martinelli, I thought maybe he's just trying to get something out of him. Didn't work. Eze not getting the opportunities, I think, I've kind of resigned to the fact that if Erdogan is healthy, Eze is not going to play. And if Trossard is going to play the way he's been playing this season, that, that left wing is not there, a spot that he's going to get. Even though I think Eze should be one of our, like if there's a lineup that you're putting out there, I think Eze should be on it. I think he should be on it. I think Arteta needs to find a way that Eze can play out there, and the risk outweigh the rewards outweigh the risk.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Matty Cash goal versus what he's done for us already. I think I don't mind winning 3-2. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'll take that over, a 1-1 kind of back and forth kind of a game. So yeah, no, I thought that lineup would give us something different, and it didn't. And I was hoping Arteta would make changes at halftime, and he did. So that was a good sign. But I think not playing and until late in the game, I think he got in the game late, right? I think it just he's supposed to be a moments player. We need moments in a game like that, and we don't play him, right?
Yeah.
So I think Arteta's got all the tools, but he's using them sometimes at the wrong time. Eze can't come on in the last 10 minutes. He needs at least 30 minutes.
Yeah, he needs to warm up into the game 100%. 100%. And I think that is something that I personally have been disappointed. I mean, everybody knows how invested I was in the Eze transfer. When it looked like it was going our way, then it looked like it wasn't. And then obviously we got it over the line. And I'll be honest, like I've been there's two transfers I was very, very invested in over the summer. One was Gyökeres and the second one was Eze. And the only thing I'm going to say on this before I move on to these match stats is for me personally, these two players have not become poor players overnight. For me, there's a lot more to it in terms of like why we're not seeing performances from Gyökeres and why we're not seeing Eze in the team, etc., etc. But like I say, it's probably a stream for another day. But it's very frustrating for me to not see a player of Eze's ability, what he could do in a Palace side last season, what he did in the FA Cup, for us to not find a way to get the best out of him, surrounded by all the world-class and potential world-class players we have. Like I can't quite fathom it. I'm quite baffled by it. But what I'm going to do, and this is something that I've kind of decided, I'm just going to wait until the end of the season, because I made it very clear at the start of the season that this season there can be no excuses. And if we don't leave the season without any silverware, and it's not just silverware, it's substantial silverware that I'm after, then
100%.
we will have another conversation about that. But yeah, for me, Eze and Gyökeres were two of the highlights of the summer. And yet, as the season plays out, yes, we are top of the league. Yes, we are top of the Champions League. Yes, we are in both the cup games. And you know what? Whilst that is the current situation, I can't really say too much, really, to be honest, because if we go on to win the quadruple, I mean, all of this conversation becomes irrelevant. But he just better hope he wins some significant silverware, because if he doesn't, all these decisions that have played out throughout the season will all of a sudden very much be under the microscope. But anyway, in terms of the match stats, as we can see here, not too surprised, Arsenal had 60% possession. We had significantly more shots. Unfortunately, of the 15 shots, only 3 were on target. We missed every single big chance that was created in the match. And we had 9 corners, of which we didn't score from, which is probably a bit of a surprise, considering I think it was Forest have conceded 13 from corners and we'd scored 14. So I kind of expected there to be at least a set piece goal, but I think they played really well in terms of the set pieces. I mean, I'm going to come around to you lot quickly. I'm going to start with Gary this time round. Give me your thoughts on, in particular, the having 15 shots on target. Sorry, having 15 shots but only 3 on target and missing every single big chance created. I mean, give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah,
but surely that's down to the players, right? That's not Arteta.
It's a combination of two for me, because I feel like I believe that Arteta has a little bit of say in what their mentality is coming into the game. So I feel like sometimes even when they get an opportunity to take the shot, they're thinking about pass.
Mm.
You know, and I don't think, like, for me, once you get into that 18, your only thought should be putting that ball in the back of the net, right? I think if we played that way, you would see a totally different way, a style of play that when we get into the box, we're looking to attack that goal and put a ball in. And I don't think we do that. And I like to think that starts from the top. And I think we're always thinking about passing first. I mean, the 15 shots, I think we're, at least from the fact that we're not clinical, we need to be in those in that 20 range, because one reason why we're not in that 20 range in this particular game is because I think a lot of the opportunities we have are lost before the pass even is made to get the shot off. And I think that's because a lot of times, if you think about it, we turn the ball over in midfield, and before we can decide to push the ball up the pitch, you know what? We got to reset and let the defense settle for one reason or another. How can we not just put the ball forward and play them out of position and punish them for making a mistake in the midfield? We don't do that. And so we've made goalkeepers look really good against us. We've made defenses that was struggling look really good against us, right? How that happens too much for the quality of team that we have, that we make goalkeepers always be standing on their head every game, making save upon save upon save. You know, and I think that's because we just don't. I don't think, you look at some of the shots we're taking, they're easy safes. We're not stinging a goalkeeper's hands. We're not making them move.
Yeah.
So for me, that's kind of what I'm seeing. So the stats, they show what they show, but I think we need another 10 shots, at least the way we've been playing for the last year and plus, for us to get the goals that we need. So we need to create more. And I think a lot of times we don't even get those chances because we're too busy resetting the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper, you know, and then or to the back line, and then we start again. And it's like, how can we? Teams punish us. They punish us when we make a mistake in the midfield. They don't usually go back all the way back to their fullback and to their center back and then attack us. No, once we make a mistake, they come up the field. Every pass is forward. I mean, that Everton game, late in the game when Ryan makes that save, if you look at that, the build-up, everything is towards the goal. We're going to try to score. These guys made a mistake, and they thought they got it, and Raya saved us, right? We need to be doing that to those other teams a lot more because our defense is stronger than theirs.
We're trying to follow the strategy of putting the goalkeeper to sleep with all our passing before we have a go at them.
I'm gonna come to you, Anthony. So obviously, off the back of what Gary has said, 15 shots, only 3 on target. Now looking at these stats, obviously again, replication of 15 shots. So of the 15, 3 were on target. 14 of those 15 shots were in the box. What's the solution, in your opinion, because let's face it, a team of Arsenal's quality with 15 shots, we should be converting at least 1 or 2 of them. So, like, why are we not converting these shots? And what's the solution? How do we get 15 shots and then convert at least 2 or 3 of them to win these games? What's the problem, bro?
We don't shoot first time.
Yeah,
I bet you a lot of those block shots are after the second touch.
Yeah.
We get that first touch shot because we saw it last year. A lot of times in a game, struggling, bang, 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 we score. None of that dealt with a second touch. No, you just took the first shot. The ball comes in, you let it roll across you, and you take it. Defense can't settle. Goalkeeper can't see it. Boom, right? We're looking at that goal that in the cup game where Zubimendi takes 3 and 4 touches. You can't do that in the Premier League, right? That shot's got to go. It's got to go yesterday, right? So that's why you look 8 blocks. You're not going to score when you're getting blocked 8 out of the 15 shots we took, right? Because we're taking too many touches in the box. It's got to go. Yeah.
So coming to you, Anthony, like what is the issue? Like, is it a case of like what Gary's saying there in terms of too much touches in the box, trying to score the perfect goal? Is your opinion that actually, you know what, our attackers are just crap? Like, what is it for you why we're having 15 shots, only 3 on target, 14 in the box, but we're walking away with a 0-0?
Again, certain individuals in this football team, they're doing too much. Some are doing a bit too much. I don't see any confidence in a couple of players. Odegaard's one of them. He, again, Madueke, he's direct, so he's going to try and go for goal or try to cut back for Gyökeres. Yeah, we're not clinical, not like we used to be. Like, I remember when we got knocked out I think it was the FA Cup. We went to the bar, came back, and we was just peppering team 4-5-0. That's gone. Certain personnel are not suited for the way that we play, and it's evident that we can see it. I think other personnel needs to come into this team, but there needs to be a bit more urgency when we get the ball and we release it to the striker. There isn't that urgency. I don't see it anyway. From what I've seen, it's just the same as last season. Backwards, sideways, backwards, sideways. We've got other players who are more direct, but we're not using them. We just want to go by the safe approach. It's like what Arsene Wenger used to do back in the day, like try walk the ball into the back of the net. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be there. There needs to be more urgency from that midfield. The only person who I'm seeing it doing at the present moment is Declan Rice, to a degree. His off the ball stuff is fantastic, but it's like there's urgency from him going forward. But the rest, it's and I'll probably end up changing the system as well. Go to a 4-2-1-3. Go to that system. So you have a actual attacking midfielder behind a striker. You know what I'm saying? We've played that when Eze was there. Declan Rice will come in between the defenders. Zubimendi will be the lone 6, and Eze will be doing what he's doing. Hence why we used to win games. But since certain individuals have come back, we revert to a 4-3-3, and it's just like, yeah. But again, it needs to be that urgency that when you get the ball, boom, shoot on sight. Not just passing around, let me pass back to Saka, let me pass back to Timber, because what we're having now, our fullbacks are now getting up into the penalty area. You're having too many players in the penalty area. That's another problem that we have as well. Why are you guys there? That's not your position. If we play a team like Paris Saint-Germain and they've got wingers and you've got Timber and Calafiori bumming up to the penalty area, we'll get cooked on the counter-attack because you've got Doué and you've got Kvaratskhelia. They got pace. They will literally cast a shreds with that. You cannot have your fullbacks pushing up towards goal, which I'm getting a bit pissed off with both Timber and Calafiori. Like, we don't need to be inverting both of them all the way up the pitch. What are we doing? That's another thing which I'm seeing this season. I'm like, you're getting in the way of some strike. You're getting in the way of strikers. I've seen it from time to time. Timber's got in the way of Gyökeres, like trying to take a shot. Brother, you're not a striker, you're a defender. Get back. What are you doing all the way up the pitch? So again, these are the things that I'm seeing, which is like, it's either one, we changed our formation and we stop this inverted thing going forward, because we shouldn't have our wing backs inverting. We shouldn't be having them. It's too much. And
so what you're saying is, you're going, sorry.
No, I was just saying, it's just that, and we're too heavily reliant on set pieces and corners. Oh yeah, Big Gabby's up there. Yeah, let's whip it in from Declan Rice. Let Big Gabby. Shouldn't be doing that. We should be scoring from open play. It's only now and again, open play. Yes, a goal's a goal, but you have to take them chances, make them chances. And again, we're not doing that. So again, there's so much factors about this season, what I'm seeing from what I've been seeing going forward. I'm just like, yesterday was a prime example. How can you not have a shot in the first half? It just speaks volumes about the way that we're playing currently at the present moment. It's either he's got to tweak something, because you cannot be doing this game after game after game after game.
Yeah, so from what you're saying, then it's like, obviously it's a little bit of a lot of things. So tactical, play. Obviously, I think we can't avoid the fact that obviously we probably could do with maybe a bit of an upgrade in some of the areas up top. But I think the fact that for me it's huge in terms of we're not getting the best out of certain players. But again, it's one of those things where, despite my feelings about the tactics, despite my feelings about the style of play, at the end of the day, if it translates to trophies, I'll be willing to accept it. But we got to see until the end of the season. I'm going to come to you, Neil and Ali. First thing, two things. Ali, I want you to break down, because I know you was obviously be quite passionate in the last section about, and obviously you've heard from like Gary, you've heard from Anthony. Obviously here we've got 15 shots, 3 on target, 14 in the box, XG expected goals 2.1. I feel like your opinion is going to be quite different to the other two we've previously heard. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on like what is happening here. 15 shots, 14 in the box, only 3 on target. We should have scored at least 2 goals, but we're sitting here with a 0-0 draw. And whilst Ali breaks that down for us, I want you to think about, Neil, was it or was it not a penalty? But hold that thought and we'll come to you. So Ali, what's going on, man? Why are we not scoring 2 goals in this game?
Yeah, it's quite simple. I mean, we're not playing free-flowing football like we all want on this panel. I'm not against anyone's opinion and what they're saying because they're correct in the sense of we need to let the handbrake go. I've been saying that all season myself. So what the issue here is, we're just like they're missing simple chances. It's very simple. Martinelli, that should be a shot on target. If that's a shot on target, that equates to a goal. Mikel Moreno, if you get that on target 9 times out of 10, that header should be going on target. It's a goal. The goalkeeper's coming out of the net. Just get it on target, header it into the ground. It's a goal. It's just simple stuff. We're not under pressure. There's no pressure. What was the pressure yesterday? There was no pressure. For me, the stats throughout the season, it's been 15, 20 shots on goal, 7, 8, 9 shots on target. Not enough. Maybe, just maybe, the players that we have in those positions are just not good enough. Because this has been an issue at the end of last season. This was an issue the season before. Saka's numbers are down this season, the worst they've been in his Arsenal career, in my opinion. Martinelli I think he's got 9 goal contributions this season, or 9 goals, sorry. His best season's 15 in the 22-23 season in all competitions. He's got 1 goal in the Premier League this season. We know we need a left winger. For me, Trossard is the Premier League left winger because his output is higher than everybody else this season as an attacker. Martinelli should be our cup winger against certain teams, and because there's more space in the Champions League. There's going to be more space in the Carabao Cup because Chelsea are going to come and play against Arsenal next week. They have to. They can't sit back. FA Cup, you're playing against lower league sides. You're going to get that. Wigan at home, he's going to get goals again. Low block in the Premier League, Martinelli struggles. Low block in the Premier League this season, Victor Gyökeres has struggled. Prime example, Saka should be whipping that ball across at Stamford Bridge first time. He chops back. Then Ben White makes the overlapping run, and then he hits the ball in first time. Gyökeres gets his goal, not because it was a very good cross, because it was a handling error by the keeper. So even our crossing ability is going to pop. So that's down to the coaching. But when you're on the pitch and you get a chance, and I'm Martinelli, I need to take care of the ball. It has to travel towards the goal and it has to be on target. When I'm Mikel Moreno and I'm heading that ball, I'm not worried about that getting clattered. I need to worry about making contact so it goes on target. Simple stuff. It's not rocket science football. Mikel Arteta is overthinking his tactics, and the players are just not relaxing in front of goal. For some reason, they're just very tense and they're snatching at everything. We should have another 5 to 10 goals this season overall in the Premier League because we are snatching at chances. It's not like we're not creating. We are getting to the box. We are getting there. When we get there, it's very passive and slow. It feels like they're surprised that they've got the ball. Yeah. But when you have chances like yesterday, it doesn't matter if the ball's going side to side. You have to score those goals because a 12-year-old can score them. Simple as that. It's technical deficiencies.
Yeah, and the reality is, do you know what I mean? The reality is, and this is what I keep toing and froing with. At the end of the day, you know, I'm not a massive fan of our style of play. I'm not a massive fan of how we perform. But at the end of the day, you know, Arteta sets up the way he does. He plays the football the way he does. And he doesn't go out there. He doesn't prep the team and say, you know, Martinelli, when you get that golden opportunity on 42 minutes, I want you to miss.
Yeah,
You know, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. And at the end of the day, like, I'll tell you what really annoyed me before I come to you, Neil, about the penalty.
Yeah.
What really annoyed me was, like, at half time, and I don't get me wrong, I know it sounds petty, but half time, Martinelli was walking off the pitch and he was smiling, giving Aina like high fives. And I just thought to myself, mate, you've just missed such an easy finish. And I get it, like, I don't want him to sulk and put his head down and affect his performance, but bro, you should be walking off that pitch like literally like with a bullet between your teeth, like thinking to yourself, I'm gonna like make sure I get a goal and this doesn't cost us. But come the halftime whistle, like he was walking off, he looked a little bit dejected, and then all of a sudden he was having a good old natter with Aina, the guy who was on, which for me had him absolutely in his pocket. But that just really frustrated me. And that's why I kind of to and fro with the players, I to and fro with the manager, because as much as I don't like how we set up and how we play and how we perform, at the end of the day, like, we had, when you look at it, XG 2.1, 15 shots, 14 in the box, 3 on target. We should have buried him. We should have won this game.
Facts.
But anyway,
just quickly,
yeah.
What did Martinelli do against Portsmouth when he went in 1-on-1 with the keeper? He kills it around the post.
Yeah.
What does Madueke do when he gets the penalty? Leans back. It's a technical issue. It's lazy. It's arrogance.
It is.
It's arrogance.
It is.
Be humble. Be humble. You haven't won nothing. You're not Kevin De Bruyne. You're not Haaland. Get your technique right. This is simple stuff that Arteta, I'm sure, drills on the pitch. Now, 100%. even a manager that has defensive tactics like a Jose Mourinho and Arteta and all these guys, a Simeone, they don't say lean back when you're shooting the ball, mate. They don't say panic and hit the inside of your heel and go over there. These boys are doing it far too often. Anthony said it a lot. Some of these players are just not good enough. Let's get real now. Because we're getting to the business end of the season.
Just one area on.
I was just say the mindset that you were talking
Martinelli
about.
was shit last season, bro. What's he done this season in the Prem? 3 FA, bro. Like, we can't keep hiding behind the manager's deficiencies because of our players' defaults.
You look at the expected goals, you look at the opportunities within the box and stuff. I also think because our build-up play is so slow, that there's so many players in the box, we're struggling to get the ball to our players because all of their players are in the box because we take it so long to get up there. We're taking so long because we're going sideways. And all they're doing is, if anyone's played a decent defensive system before, you just move with the ball in a system. You know what I mean? So you're covering and you're stopping those through balls. Now, what we need to be doing is getting that ball quicker. Ødegaard, don't move it to the left. Don't move it to the right. Look for that through ball. Look for that pass. They've been there this season. We've seen it. They've been there this season. So, yeah, that's just my area on that. But with regards to the penalty.
Yeah, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts on the penalty, Neil?
I mean, that's a penalty all day long. Come on, man. The guy's cupping the ball so he doesn't give a corner away. It's a penalty all day long. Look, I get it. Why the decision wasn't given. I understand what I was listening to talk shit today, if we call it that. And actually they made a point. They were saying, well, the referee obviously didn't see it. He wasn't in a position to see it. He didn't give it. And the way VAR saw it was that the ball rolled off his shoulder into his arm in a natural position. It wasn't a natural position. It was one movement where his arm came around and cupped the ball from going out. So yeah, for me, all day long, I don't think we need to harp on it. It's a penalty.
Yeah. Facts.
But before we even got to that point, we should have been 1 or 2 up. That's the point as well.
You know what? That's every game. Every game where we have an opportunity for the referee maybe to give us an opportunity, they don't. But then you look at the game as a whole, and you're like, you know what? We still need to score regardless of whether the referee gives us. That's just an extra goal. That's not supposed to be the goal.
Don't leave it to the referees.
Yeah, 100%. That penalty decision should not have been. And obviously, I bring it up because it was an incident in the game, but ultimately, it should have been irrelevant. Given regardless of how slow we are, like we created the chances, we should have buried them. We should have won the game. We're going to move on
that you were talking about the demeanor of Martinelli when he came off the pitch, and I think that's because that's Arteta. That's Arteta. I think that the demeanor that you're talking about, that's Arteta. I don't think.
In what sense, demeanor for what? Sorry, I don't.
I don't think he's the one. I don't think Arteta is a guy that's going to show you that he's mad that he made a mistake out there on the pitch.
Yeah, but
Like-
if you watch
like-
the documentary, it's the opposite. Are you screaming, I don't like the laws
No, but I'm saying as a player, that's what we saw, right? And
in
I
the
think what we're
documentary.
seeing-
So
I think
these players need to grow up, Gary.
Yeah.
Don't defend
I'm
these
with
players,
you know what,
bruv.
I'm with you, but I think I have a feeling he's got a hold on them. They all want to play for him, right? So they know the rules.
No, but what?
There's
He's gonna
certain rules.
smile. Arteta,
no.
did you see his face when he missed?
Yeah.
Arteta looked pissed off, bro.
I think that's why he hooked him at half time.
I'm not an
Yeah.
Arteta fan. I'm not an Arteta in or
Yeah.
an out.
Yeah.
This is just reality, bruv. Then you got Declan Rice doing the effing and jeffing. Well, maybe get the troops rally, bro, and tell them to start finishing their dinner.
And then you know what I'll say. I'll say what I say to that at some point. Rice, Saka, Erdegaard, whoever's on the pitch is going to have to just do it themselves. Right?
Exactly, and that's what the football's about.
I think Rice will do it if he's in a position to, but Saka's a guy that's right there. He's going to be the guy that's going to
I hope so, but this season he's done nothing so far for me.
Yeah. No,
he's done nothing for us. What's he done?
That's why I think it's a two-way street. He's got to find that. He's got to find that. You know what? He knows the button to press for Trossard, right? You sit Trossard.
No, but Trossard's different.
No. What I'm saying is
his internal, his own demeanor, and as a character, he demands more of himself.
Yeah.
Martinelli's not that guy to do that.
Yeah.
Trossard has got that arrogance. I'm better than all these lot. I should be playing. Look at the way he celebrated at Villa Park when we won 1-0 last season. He didn't even want to celebrate. He was like, I should have started this game.
But I'm saying if
he's
you
not
can
good
find
enough
that,
to start
but if
week
you
in,
can
week
find
out for
some of
Arsenal
those
Football
things,
Club.
I just feel if you can find some of those things in a Trossard, you're gonna have to figure out what buttons to press to get your Martinellis, your Sackers, and all of that to basically show you they're pissed off at you more than they're pissed off of anything else.
That's what sales button
did,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Like he's got to find that
exactly.
button. No, he's got to find that button though because he's not pressing it enough.
The complete left winger is Martinelli's pace and power and Trossard's technical ability. They're just in. We got them in two different players. We need that
Semenyo.
Semenyo, but as Bobby has said, and the man gets right all the time. He said that Gabby will be in the lineup and he's there. All right, Semenyo. We just didn't have the squad space. We got to move these players on. Who's gonna want to buy mid-season at 30, 40, 50, 60 million pound one of our players on the wing? Martinelli, 1 goal in the Prem. Trossard, 29 years old, whatever he is.
Hopefully Real Madrid.
Unless Saudi come in, these players are not moving on. And they're not going to want to move on because they want a Premier League medal. Because they can see where this is going.
I think Gary makes a good point though. I think what you're saying, Ali, I think there's truth. There's elements of truth in both of it. I think there are times when it's like I do look at the certain players like Martinelli, and I do think to myself, I look at like his trajectory in terms of where he was going, his potential, his performances. And I think what we're seeing is that I think we see Arteta get the best out of certain players, but I do feel like there are certain players that he's not getting the best out of, or he is getting the best out of them. And like you said, maybe they just need to be shipped off in the summer. I mean, it's a difficult one. It's actually difficult to know because like you look at a player like Martinelli and some people have already made their mind up on him and he's rubbish and he needs to go. And that's all well and good. That's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. But there are other Arsenal fans that also have a difference of opinion and think that actually, there is more to get out of these players, and actually it's Arteta that is stifling certain things and etc. So it is an interesting debate, and I think what will be interesting is my genuine opinion is I don't think Martinelli will be at the club beyond next summer. That's my personal opinion.
I don't think so.
But what will be very interesting is where he ends up going and what he ends up doing. I think that will be very interesting because if he goes on like most Arsenal players go on and they don't do very much, then I think it will be very clear that obviously he wasn't at the level consistently to be at Arsenal. But if he goes on and rips it up in another league or another team under another coach, I mean, then that will open a whole nother debate. But I want to move on to obviously player ratings, and I'm going to start with you, Gary, and we're going to go to obviously each player. So each of the panelists are going to have a say on each of the players until we run out of players. Can you give me a rating for Raya out of 10 and the rationale behind that rating, Gary?
I'm gonna say probably six or seven, 6-7. I don't think he had to do much,
Six.
right? You know, and I,
Oh,
I'm
Gary,
juggling, right?
bro.
Sorry,
What
I
the
don't know what those
fuck?
kids mean by that stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up, but
That's all
it
good.
wasn't
That's all
because
good.
he didn't have he didn't have to make. I don't think he had to make any saves that stand out in my head. So because the defense I think was solid, and the other team wasn't going to attack us, so I can't give him that high of a mark there. I think some of his long passes went wayward a little bit, but we've seen that before, so I don't want to take that away from him as much. So 6-7 just because he didn't have much to do.
No problem.
So yeah.
Cheers, Gal. Anthony, you have Ben White. Can you give me a score out of 10 and a reason why?
Benny with Blanco. 7. You know, he tried to make things happen on that right hand side. Tried to a degree. You know, Ben's just in a typical game for him. Yeah, that's it in terms of Benny giving him 7.
Cool, no problem. Neil, you got Saliba?
Yeah, I think he had a standard game. Thought he did all right. Didn't really make any mistakes or anything that I can remember. So probably a 6. Bog standard game for him.
No problem. Ali, you've got Gabriel.
Yeah, just quickly on Ben White. If we were going to play Ben White, Saka's got to be playing because he's the one who gets bombs forward and goes and creates the width. So then Saka can chop inside and do what he wants. And then in this game, he goes and changes it and plays Noni. It's confusing. It's baffling.
Yeah, but
so that's Arteta's fault.
Yeah, but said that Saka had a niggle in it, so he'd rather rest him for this game.
And then, which is fair enough, but he's done that in the past, and you're not getting the best combinations at the right time. That's another thing that Arteta needs to work on. Gabriel, solid. Big Gabby, 6-7, so 7. Solid, clean sheet. Passive, slow out the back, but like all of them, midfielders were not moving for him to push that pass into vertical passes, triangles, not seeing them. 6, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Solid, clean sheet.
No problem. Gary, you have Timber.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think coming off the left side there. I think he did. I mean, defensively sound like usual. I think we missed a lot of things that I think Calafiori will do for us, kind of opening up our attack a little bit there, and that's the difference between the two of them. We know we're going to get the defense from Timber, but just the attack, which we need sometimes, he's not as as qualified as we've seen from a Ben White and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm going to 6. I don't think nobody's at least in my eyes, nobody's gonna get more than a 6 or 7 for me.
One of those performances, isn't it?
Yeah. They all had things that did not impress us enough to get across the line. Yeah.
No problem. Anthony, you've got Zubamendi.
Standard performance, nothing. If you looked at his last performance where he scored to this week, nothing to see, exhilarating from him. Just a standard. For me, those are just a standard game for him.
Yeah, no problem. So, what would you give him? What would you give him out of 10? Or did I miss that? I'm not sure.
No, like I said, I'll give him a 6.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't an outstanding performance, but wasn't a bad performance. Just kind of here or there.
Just a standard one, really and truly. If you look at his last performance, it's the last game where he, to this performance, night and day in it.
Yeah, no, I hear it. Neil, you've got Rice.
I'm only doing this particular one on Rice's normal standards of play. So backlash coming, but I'm going to give Rice a 5 in this game. But again, I don't think that's totally all on Rice. I think Rice looks tired. The man looks dead on his feet, and I think he gave a really subpar par performance on what he would normally give. So that's why I'm giving him a 5. I'm only basing it off his high standards.
Fair enough. Ali, you got Odegaard?
Oh, come on, guys. He got 10 out of 10, didn't he? Oh, my God. Where's Anthony? He's going to come back on screen in a second. What? What?
There he is.
He came right on time, brother. No, seriously, 3 out of 10. 1 for being the captain for the coin toss. 1 for jogging out with his armband, and 1 for coming off the pitch. So that's about it. So, listen, I give my opinions and I'll keep it as honest as possible. I like this guy. He's got talent. It's not happening for him. It hasn't happened for him for a while. He needs to be taken out of the firing line. Sit him on the bench. Let Eze have a run of games. Let's go win the title and he can go get 5 games at the end of the season. He will play better, in my opinion, potentially in the Champions League. So for me, looking forwards, I want him to play on Tuesday and I want Eze to be playing
United,
against Man United.
Yeah.
So, 3 out of 10. He's out of form. Technically gifted, but just not doing it. Not enough vertical passes. Slows the tempo down. Like the boys have said all through the stream, this U stuff and sideways, backwards, it's happening far too often. He's most certainly not Kevin De Bruyne. That is for sure. And the closest thing we do have to Kevin De Bruyne is sitting on the bench, giving out the oranges.
It's a little embarrassing when you see him just get knocked off the ball too easy. You're like,
it's terrible, man. It's terrible.
You have to possess that ball a lot better. Nobody should be able to come up and just take the ball from you like that. It's too easy. And then he's on the ground afterwards. You're like, you know what? This is the Premier League. You've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. You know it's coming. You're going to get bumped.
Look,
you need to
he's the captain. He's the captain. It doesn't matter if you're the captain or not. If you're out of form, just take a minute, sit on the bench, start the Carabao Cup game against Chelsea. Let Eze do the Premier League. Let Eze do the knockout stages of the Champions League. And then slowly build your confidence back in. I don't think he's the type of player that is going to kick up a fuss if he's on a bench for a few games. He seems like a level-headed person. He won't rock the dressing room. So just let's do that. He ain't got that type of ego from what I've seen. Then Big Gabby, Rice, Saliba, these are the leaders on the pitch without the armband anyway. So whether he's on the pitch or not, it doesn't make a difference in terms of his captaincy. On pure ability, 3 out of 10, and just take him out the firing line for a bit because that's what he needs.
No problem. Gary, you have Madueke started on the right against Forest.
I mean, I liked him. I did like him. He put pressure on them. I mean, I believe he's the one that puts the cross in, right? And he puts the cross in, and Martinelli's supposed to finish it off for him, and he didn't. So I like him. Like I said, I think we need to see a lot more of him. I think we've gotten more out of him than most people thought we would, but he needs more minutes. I feel he's not going to get. He needs more minutes to get into a groove, and we don't give our players that. I always talk rotation, but I feel like they just need minutes, whatever that is, to not lose their form and to get a little bit better on the little things they need to work on. I am a Nweri fan, so he needs minutes, and he's gotten nothing even close to what I thought he would. I don't know what he's got to do to get minutes. I think it's probably because he shoots first, and Arteta doesn't like that. And I think we need that guy. We need that guy. Like
that's the beauty of this. This is a debate for another day, obviously. But Ethan and Nweri, if he comes into the squad to sit on the bench or start, that means one of these big boys is missing out on the match day squad in overall. So who is that going to be? Is it going to be a Madueke? Is it an Odegaard that misses out and sits out because they're not injured? Because that's how big our squad is now. Now Arteta's taken the easy option just quickly to just put out the youngster, even though the youngster has shown more in the 60, 70 minutes against Portsmouth. I know it's only Portsmouth, but he's shown it time again last season that he has something different. And like Gary said, is it Arteta? He doesn't want him to shoot. He doesn't like it. He wants him to go sideways. Don't know. Bobby said little bits and bobs in the past, but
this is almost like poetically beautiful. Anthony,
I can't wait.
Can you give me the score out of 10 for Martinelli and the reason why?
We could be here till tomorrow. And rightly so at the moment. After that miss.
I would have given him a 5 out of 10. No, sorry, I would have given him a 6 out of 10. But yeah, man, you can't be missing chances like that. Like, yeah, I know. I saw someone just put in the chat too. Yeah, my son who's 12 can, score goals like that. He's playing for a school team. Score goals like that on every time I go watch him play. What I saw from Martinelli yesterday, I was just like, you had it good, you're doing it in the Champions League, you're scoring goals in the Champions League. You scored a hat-trick against Portsmouth and you fumbled the bag like that. And then you want to walk off a bit smiling, all them thing there. I'm glad he got hooked at half time, and I saw that Trossard was kind of from Martinelli. It's just like, that's the only smart decision this manager made in this game, is hooking him off at half time. I'll give him a 3 out of 10.
No problem. Neil, last but not least, Gyökeres.
So everyone knows, I still am a big Gyökeres fan. But he didn't do it in this game. He wasn't him in this game. So I'm going to give him a 4 in this game. I think that
pace has gone down as well.
man, that one-on-one situation really tipped the scales for me. I was shocked because that's how he was banging goals in, not only in Portugal, not only in the Portuguese league, but he was doing it in the Champions League as well last season. And I just feel like he's lost a yard of pace. And also, again, his touch is been bang average this season. Even when the ball's played into him and he wants to play the ball back, you just see the fumble of his touch, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, our fan base are going to tear him apart."
Yeah, he hesitated on that run just enough to Morello can catch him up on him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Morello's quick.
Yeah.
Morello's quick.
If he took
and
a
he's
dead
strong.
spin, he gets position on him, is what I think. Because by just that little hesitation, Morello's even with him, and that means he's dead. And that's exactly what
I still think Gyökeres will score goals. I think he needs to be unlocked to score them. I think the guy's confidence must be shot. And you know what? He reads what everyone writes on Twitter and so on and so forth. I'm sure he does. Or people at least tell him what's being written. And I think the guy's confidence is absolutely shot. But at the same time, that performance yesterday doesn't help him at all.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you.
So one more thing with Gyökeres. I also believe what should happen is, what we find is, and particularly the way this season I've been seeing a lot of the games going, particularly with Gyökeres, is we seem to be trying to work out what teams are going to do and how they're going to play, and then we come out in the second half and we play differently. Usually, what I think needs to happen is Havertz or Jesus, more Havertz, needs to start a game and bring Gyökeres in for the last 20 minutes when either a team's trying to attack us because they're a goal behind or a couple of goals behind, or we're really trying to go for it, creating more spaces, because I think the guy's stifling with no space.
No
I think also he's been punished because of the injuries. In reality, if everybody was healthy going in, I don't think he starts against Manchester United. And I think that would have been a good time for him to get vetted into the way that we play. Because that game was a smack in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
Delot was basically punishing him every time the ball comes in the air. He didn't get anything in that game. And I think you set him up bad. It just hasn't gotten any better because he's never even had a chance to breathe. Right? Right. Havertz and Jesus not being available for a month or whatever it was. He's never had a chance. He's not good. For what we need, what Arteta needs to get out of him, he's not been able to do that because he just plays every game, right? He plays if he sees Havertz play a certain, he needs a little bit more hunger, because now I think he's similar to Rice. He's just playing and he's running on steam sometimes, and he needs I think a little mental break from what's going on and recharge the batteries type thing. But we just don't have the numbers for him. Who's taking that spot? Trossard? No, he's not. He can't. Usually it would be Trossard, but we're not doing that. And Moreno, I don't know. I guess I'm not a fan of Moreno up top. I think he's our fourth option, even though some think he's our second, the way we're playing right now and what we're getting out of, because he's the most healthiest. But yeah. So that's
no problem. We'll come to you, Ali. Obviously Trossard came on 46 minutes. Obviously had a whole half of football. Just give me a rating and a reason why.
Yeah, no, I can't give more than a 6 to any attackers. It's 6 or below because we were not efficient with whatever we created. I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 5.
Okay,
No, that's it. There's nothing. He didn't do nothing. But just quickly on Gyökeres, just literally a sentence or two. I feel like he needs to complete games. He feels like, from what I see of his physique and the way he is as a player, coming off after 60, 70 minutes is not helping him as an athlete himself. I think this guy needs to play 95-minute games to actually sharpen up. Like Anthony and the boys have said, like on that run, I think he'll be sharper if he's not got the minutes in his legs since he's been back from injury. He's getting hooked off at halftime. He's getting hooked off at 60 minutes. Mentally, his confidence gone. Physically, he's not sharp. He's the type of player that he's durable. He needs to play every single minute of every game for 3 or 4 games to see if it actually works. And if it doesn't, you just bench him. Because Havertz will be back in by then. You can integrate him back in. For me, Havertz going into the business end of the season should be our starting striker. And then, like the boys have said, then Gyökeres comes on when the game is open and it suits his style of play. Then he may get the odd. We're 1-0 up, last 20, he makes it 2, makes it 3, 2-0 up, he gets a third. Do you know what I mean? That's his role in this team at the moment, I think, going forwards. Because he took a breather on the bench against Portsmouth, and then he done well against a Chelsea side that attacked. They didn't sit back, did they? And he got his most touches in his box. So horses for courses. Arteta again. It's on Arteta to pick those games. Which games are those? Inter Milan away. Play him because they're going to come on to us. Get some confidence. Build his confidence up. Give him 90 minutes, and then bring Havertz on in the 10, or start Havertz in the 10 instead of Odegaard. Put Eze on the left and get a bit funky with it, and then Ranieri on the right, something like that.
No problem. We're gonna start breezing through some of these slides because we've been live for an hour and 36 already. So, Gary, can you give me your rating and the reason why for Marino?
Yeah. I'm gonna give him. I'm giving him a 5. He didn't have enough time to come in and do much work there for us. He did. There were, from what I remember, again, there were some positive signs there, but not enough to make a difference. I'm not sure if he can do that for us coming into a game late, and he's not going to change the pace of the game or anything like that, because that's not what he brings. And the way we were playing, we weren't going to get the opportunities that he's used to. So, yeah.
Well, he missed one, didn't he? The header.
Yeah.
So that he should have put that in the net.
Yeah.
If we're gonna ridicule Martinelli, it's the same for Marino. Same standard of chance. Should have scored.
No problem. Anthony, you got Saka.
When did he come on for 57 minutes? Yeah, he tried. I'll give him a 7. You know, he was trying to make something happen when he came on. You know, I'm saying them saves again. It's every keeper, every team that we go to and we play like this. You know, we make their keepers look like Brian Casillas. Like, you know, that shot that Saka did. You know, no, actually it was the header. I actually thought I was going in. I was just like, come on, Connor. It's just like when I saw that save, was like, yeah. So he was trying. So yeah, for me, he'll get a 7.
No problem. Neil, you got Jesus.
Came on, ran around like a headless chicken. Struggles to, I think he struggles to press. But again, he didn't get much. You know, I don't think he offers us much. If I'm honest with you, that's my personal opinion. Yeah. You know, he didn't do awfully. I'm going to give him a 6.
No problem. I mean, Ali, you know, Eze came on quite late in the day.
I love Eze.
Probably a little bit too late than maybe what was
standard
needed.
5. Standard 5, bro.
No problem.
I love Eze. I think Jesus is finished, by the way, as well. His knees have done him in, unfortunately. The injuries. He can't do those sprints anymore.
No problem, no problem. So these player ratings, correct me if I'm wrong, Ali, are directly from Bobby?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bobby and the team.
Obviously, we're not going to spend too much time. I'm going to breeze through. Obviously, well, sorry, these are the Nottingham Forest ones. So, bit of an inspired performance, to be fair. So he's given Sells an 8, Aina a 7, Milenkovic a 7,
Yeah.
Morello a 7, Williams at 8. Obviously, defensively, they played really, really well. Sangari, Anderson, and Gibbs White averaging 7s and 8s. And then obviously up top, not as good, given the fact that obviously they didn't offer too much offensively. So there's no surprise there. Now, obviously, to end the stream, before we go on to obviously thanking our guests tonight and giving them the forum to obviously let everybody know where they can find them in terms of socials and stuff like that. This is a big one, really. This is a big one. I mean, obviously, this was a huge game. City fumbled. We were all excited about the prospect of going 9 points clear. You've heard from the panel tonight that none of us are thrilled. None of us are over the moon that despite the fact being 7 points clear, and Arteta has come up a lot in this reaction. So this is your opportunity, panelists, to obviously give your review of how Arteta did overall in terms of predicted line, in terms of lineup that he put out, in-game management, substitutes. Try and be as fair as possible. Try not to just rate him on the basis of the fact that we drew the game and we didn't capitalize. I want a very fair and honest opinion of his overall performance, the side he picked, the way we played, the in-game management, and the subs, with him trying to obviously go on to win the game. So I'll go to the opposite end first this time round. So I'll go to you, Ali, first. Arteta score out of 10 and the reason why.
Oh, tough one. I think I'll give him a standard 5. Decent. Happy with the lineup to a certain extent. Obviously, hoping for the front three to be a little bit more technical, especially on the wings, because we're not probably going to expect that from Gyökeres. As the game went on, I think he done the right thing, putting Trossard on at half time. Gave us a little bit more balance technically, but didn't really create anything out of that. I think it was a bit of it's a flat performance. It's hard. It's difficult for the players and the manager in this one. Very low block tight, but we're used to this. The substitutions, I was hoping for Havertz to come on instead of Jesus, if I'm being honest, because our substitutions are also very predictable in the past few weeks. It's nothing out of the box. Eze should have come on earlier, in my opinion, like the boys have all said, and yourself, G. I think he needs 20, 30 minutes in a game to affect it minimum. He should be starting, to be honest. But yeah, I just feel like we went from 3 power players, like I said earlier, to 3 technical players with not much pace or bursts of pace to play on the counter. So maybe sometimes I think in these type of games, if we want to bring these teams onto us and create more chances, give them the ball and let them attack our great defense that we supposedly have. That's only kept 2 clean sheets in a row. Prior to the Sunderland game, it was 7-8, and then we haven't kept many clean sheets since. So he prides himself on his defense and his domination, but we're not dominating much. If we're not dominating in the attacking box, we're not dominating in the defensive area regularly, because we've only kept 1 clean sheet, 2 clean sheets in the past 5-6 games in the Prem, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, lots to work on. More offensively, obviously, than defensively. But pick the right team, as I've always said this season, and win the game. And he's making certain combinations on the pitch. It's becoming a bit imbalanced as the season's going on. So yeah, he needs to work on that. 5 out of 10.
No problem. Neil?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot I can add to that. I agree with that. I think, look, to be fair, I'm pretty critical of Arteta, particularly this season, because of the chance we have to really go on. But I've got to be fair to him in the last game. I mean, what else more could he have done apart from possibly Eze? I think Eze should have come on instead of Marino, if I'm honest with you. I think Havertz should have come on instead of Jesus again. But I think he set the team up. They created the chances. We didn't finish chances off. So in this game, I've got to give Arteta a little bit of slack in this game. And I'll probably give him a 6.
No problem. Anthony, how did Arteta perform from starting lineup, in-game management, and substitutes?
Starting lineup, again, some players I would have taken out of the team. I wouldn't have started Odegaard this game, nor I would have started Gyökeres. Havertz for me and Eze. I would have started, again, in terms of the in-game management with this manager, I've been saying it for years. Coward, as usual. Typical, innit? Don't freshen things up. You bring on Jesus, who, again, I respect the man for what he's done, but, his time at his football club's been and gone. Bringing on Mourinho, I'd have brought on, again, I'd have taken off Odegaard, bring on Eze instead of bringing on Mourinho because, and up front, again, it's the same, innit? Like, Havertz on for Gyökeres instead of Jesus. Again, when it comes to set pieces and corners, you've got you've got a couple of guys, the striker, Marino, Saliba, Gabriel, you've got them guys up inside there who their aerial presence is, effective. We've seen it time and time, week in, week out, time and time again. And I think that's a missed opportunity from the manager, going forward in terms of bringing on the right players. I think he did a coward move by bringing on Jesus. What is Jesus going to do? I see that when Gyökeres is off the pitch, we start pinging the ball in the area, but when Gyökeres is there, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And again, it just goes back to the fact that these guys are playing like they've got Kai Havertz up front. How does that work? But again, he gets a standard 5 for me. That's too generous. He gets a 4.
No problem, Anthony. Thank you. And last but not least, Gary, review of Arteta.
All right, so I'm gonna give him a 5. 1 because he brings the defense. If we get anything out of the attack, then it goes up from there. But our attack is still a question mark. It's been a question mark. I think that's been a reason why I think we've been struggling. Is our attack, and it still seems to be a problem. We still don't have the answers. I was happy to see us change things up top, but once again, he has to go in there and change his front line once again. All of them had to be taken out because he just couldn't figure out a way. And I'm wondering who's talking to him about the way we attack. Is Carlos Cuesta the guy that was doing it before, and he's gone, and we don't have an answer now?
I think Heinz is now.
Heinz is now? Okay.
I think
Heinz is more in the defense, though, not the attack.
Yeah.
No, but he's known to be an aggressive, he likes his attackers to press, everyone to press. I know he's helping Mars do Skelly 1-to-1 and things like that, but that's a conversation for another day, lads. But
that needs a lot of help.
Yeah. I mean, the subs, like I said, I take what he says for granted sometimes, but like Eze needs to play. He needs to play. So somebody's going to have to sit, be it Trossard, be it Erdogan. Somebody's going to have to sit. I think he needs. We didn't bring him in to have him sit there and watch this. What's going on? I mean, I go back to that. I go back to that Liverpool match when they panned to the bench and he's sitting on the bench watching that Anfield match, and I'm like, the man wants to be out there and he needs to be out there sometimes. We need them, and we're not using them. So for Arteta not getting 11 minutes in a match that you don't, come on.
You might as well not bring him on.
You need to figure out a way. Yeah, those are minutes you give to the fourth guy on the bench. That's to your academy players probably, or something like that, because he deserves 20-30 minutes in a match. He should be starting for us. He'd be starting if he was anywhere else, I think. Yeah, we have to figure out a way to get him on the field. I mean, he should be starting for us. Let's just say that.
If he was going to pull Martinelli at halftime, he should have had the bottle to pull Odegaard at halftime and put Eze on.
Yeah, well said, boys.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thank you so much, Bobby. Can you do the honors? I'm not sure how to do that, but if you can just bring on each panelist, obviously, so they can let people know where to find them, that would be brilliant. I hope you're in the background there. And you can finish off with Ali and then me. That's if Bobby's there. Maybe Bobby's not there. Let me see if I can work it out. Oh, that's me. So how do you
Bobby
bring
said
one
he's having
each per-
technical difficulties.
Okay. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do is, 1 second. So that's like that. That's like that. I'm not sure how I even change this, you know. Edit.
While G's doing that, just quickly, just for the boys as well. Oh, we go. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Arteta is a
change
world
it back
class.
to when-
Arteta is a world class talker. Is he gonna get us over the line and become that manager that he seems to think that he is? That's going to be very interesting, lads. Because for me, he talks a good game, but he hasn't backed it up yet with his in-game management.
Right.
It's been terrible.
So what we'll do is, cheers, Ali. What we'll do is, we'll just have to do it like this because I can't bring up everybody individually. So Anthony, talk to the people, let them know where they can find you, bro.
There we go.
So essentially, I'm on X. Don't ask me what my handle is. Actually, yeah, it's Anthony. You can find me on there. You can also find me on Instagram, Lifting with Anthony. So I'm on there as well. So gonna be having a YouTube channel coming out with one of my guys over on X. We're just working through some final details of what it's going to be going forward. So that's in the making. So yeah, we're just looking at what we're going to do going forward. And when I get more update, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me. Yeah, Instagram lifting with Anthony, _ on the lifting and with Anthony. And yeah, just Anthony on X.
Cheers, bro. Neil?
Yeah, just around on Discord, around the WhatsApp groups, and also on X as well. It's basically talking Arsenal with you guys.
All good. Gary?
Oh yes, so check me out on the YouTube DWTT. If you type that in, DWTT Arsenal, I should pop up first. That's where I am. Do a show tomorrow night, and on Saturday it's around 3 p.m. Tomorrow night it's usually 12:30 a.m. for you guys in the UK, so it's a little late for you, but that's when I do it. Check me out then. Yeah, I saw Anthony said you do lifting with Anthony. Did Kai Havertz hang out with you? Did he check some of your videos and stuff?
I wish he did. You know what I'm saying? I wish he did, bro.
Yeah,
you get me? He wouldn't have lost that weight, boy.
Yes, Ali.
Yeah, just wanted to obviously quickly say thank you to the panel. I appreciate you all coming on.
Yeah.
Obviously, G doing an amazing job hosting, man. And then obviously we've got Bobby. Appreciate you, even the time that you're going through, mate. To be back behind stage, it means a lot to obviously us all here. For you to still be part of it in some capacity. You can find me on Football Takeover YouTube and on Instagram, TikTok, and X. It's Football TK Over.
Wicked. And yeah, G Talks Arsenal here, your host. Like I say, I'm still, shaking off the ring rust when it comes to hosting, but hopefully I'm doing a good enough job for you, the viewers. Big up all the panelists. Thank you so much, Gary, Anthony, Neil, and obviously Ali, my partner, me and Bobby's partner, to come on tonight's show. You can find me on X and obviously the Football Taker YouTube channel. So yeah, it's all going well, and I want to big up like the 187 people watching via YouTube. I don't know how many people are watching via X, but big up you too. If for whatever reason you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We are fast approaching 300 subs, and yeah, just thank you so much. Obviously we're on a journey as a channel, and we are just very grateful for you. At the end of the day, like, we all have busy schedules, so the fact that 186 of you have taken time to actually watch this stream from start to finish is amazing. So really, really grateful for that. So yeah, at the moment, in terms of moving forward, it really depends on the Inter game. I mean, we might put something out, like a kind of pre-recorded bit of content with regards to that match. But what I do know for sure is that we will be back for a preview show for the United game happening at the weekend, and then obviously a reaction show. Transfer shows are in the pipeline, so stay tuned for more updates on that. But yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you also to not obviously people who are just watching on X or watching on YouTube, but those that have taken the time to comment. I hope you appreciate the fact that I've tried to bring up every single comment. We can't discuss every single comment. We've already been on a stream for 1 hour and 53 minutes. If we did, we'd be on this stream for about 5 hours. So we do our very best to kind of give you a couple of seconds on the screen just to show that we do appreciate your comments. So yeah, I mean, not the result we wanted. We had an opportunity to go, obviously 9 points clear. Nevertheless, you know, we've discussed it, we've broke it down, we've analyzed it. We are still 7 points clear. So we move. We got a big game against Inter, even bigger game on the weekend. But from me and the panel, we're out. Have a good evening, everybody, wherever you are. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy your week ahead. Take care, people.
Nice one, boys. Take care. God bless.
See ya.
Bless.
Thank you.